Well, good evening, and welcome to Alcohol, Drugs, and Us. Want to tell you that I'm excited. I'm excited that this is May, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month. That's what May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and might as well talk about mental health. So I just said, I'm just saying May is Mental Health Month, and so that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about what is mental health, what is mental wellness, what is mental illness, all that kind of stuff. And I'm Joseph McCrae, and I am the host of Alcohol, Drugs, and Us, along with my wife, Shawanda. And want to show you a picture here and just ask you a question. So, if you saw this here on somebody's foot, would you really know what was going on? Would you know if this was discomfort, or would you know if they were in pain? You really wouldn't know, right? You really wouldn't know. But if you saw this would give you a better idea that something is going on, right? Something could be going on. So, um, this is what we call a sign, and this is what we call a symptom. So, symptom is what a person might be experiencing or feeling, whereas a sign is what we see, what others can see, what you can see. And so when it comes to mental illness, sometimes we don't always see it, right? It's not always apparent to us, mental illness. And so sometimes people can hide it and disguise it very well. But I want to expose it tonight. I want to also just give God thanks for this opportunity to share on the airways, to be able to bring forth information that can be life changing. God, your word says that knowledge, without knowledge, the people perish. Hosea 4:6, God. And I say, God, that knowledge will come, information will come, and people will be blessed, God, in Jesus' name. So I want to get into what is mental health. Here we go.
Alex, I want to talk about mental health, which we're starting to discuss more in our community.
So the question is, do we think that we're talking about mental health a little more in our communities? Are we talking a little bit more about mental health in our communities? I know I'm talking about it tonight, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to kind of be bringing it up, talking about it in a community setting, so that people can realize that it's okay. It's not taboo. It's not like, oh, shh, don't talk about mental illness. People will say you're weak. People will say something's wrong with you. We have to talk about it. People of all colors, all um, nationalities, they have to talk about it because it's very real. Very real.
It's our emotional well being and impacts our everyday life, how we feel, how we interact with others, even how we think and view things. Our general wellness is connected, so your mental health can influence physical health. Mental health is how you handle experiences in your life, how you cope with everything and take care of your mind and your emotions. Just like you can have physical challenges, you can have mental health challenges, and you need to get help if you're struggling with either. You can't heal a broken foot on your own. You feel me? So you shouldn't have to deal with your emotional ups and downs alone. There is support out there for everyone.
So that there is support out there, and you need to know that. You need to know that mental illness is your emotional well-being, right? It's your experiences. It also has to do with your genetics, sort of like what you're made up of, your what's passed on from your family line. So those two together play a role in what we see with mental health, what we see with mental health. And let's see what else we got.
So you shouldn't have to deal with your emotional ups and downs alone. There is support out there for everyone. Mental health is kind of like a cycle. One day you feel good, you know. Sometimes you might be stressed and overwhelmed about how to deal with stuff. And other times you might feel stuck and challenged, like struggling with something bigger than what you can manage. That might lead to a mental health crisis.
So it might lead to a mental health crisis. So you don't want to get in a place where you're stuck, where you are stuck and you haven't really reached out. You haven't really reached out to anyone. No one knows what's going on with you. And so, again, this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And we got to talk about it, folks. We got to talk about it. And that's what we're doing tonight.
Our lives, our mental wellness can change based on what we're going through. Mental health challenges don't have a single cause. It could be your experiences or the chemistry of your brain. What's most important is that you take care of yourself. No matter how you're feeling, there is help for you.
So, no matter how you're feeling, there, right? So, uh, can't keep it a secret. Got to talk about it. Got to reach out. You got to find someone who is professional, who does know what they're doing to be able to help you. And sometimes people just go like to their primary care doctor, right? They go to their primary care doctor and get some help, be able to talk about what's going on, how they're coping with life. And so there's so much that we need to say about mental illness and mental wellness. And so I'm just going to let the videos kind of speak to it.
Our lives, our mental wellness can change based on what we're going through. Mental health challenges don't have a single cause. It could be your experiences or the chemistry of your brain. What's most important is that you take care of yourself. No matter how you're feeling, there is help for you.
So no matter how you're feeling, there is help. There is help. So don't ever think that, you know what, there's no hope for me, that things will not get better for me. Yes, they will. And so you do have to have some level of hope that it can turn around, that the stresses, the weights that are on you can be lifted. All right.
I've had my own mental health challenges. I want to share my story with you because I wish I'd reached out for help earlier than I did. I was always feeling low, tired, and noticed that I was getting irritated and angrier. I started sleeping more to try to forget about how I was feeling. I kind of knew something was wrong because I couldn't shake it. I've been facing more stress than normal, but I come from an immigrant family. Everyone holds me to really high standards. I felt like there's no room for mistakes or struggles. I didn't want to reach out because I didn't want anyone to think I was weak or crazy. There was also a language difference. I didn't even know where to start. I wanted someone that looked or talked like me to understand. I felt so uncomfortable and lost.
You felt uncomfortable and lost. You didn't feel like there was a connection. And that's how some people might feel. They might feel like, you know what, I might be a burden to someone if I try to talk about this, if I try to share this. And that's a problem because you should be able to share, you should be able to find a resource, you should be able to find help out in your community where you can get the help that you might need, right?
I finally talked to one of my friends who went through something similar. She told me about the differences between seeking a professional versus talking to family and friends. She said her therapist walked her through everything, like you can get better by doing this, and will continue to, like monitor how you feel. I decided to go to a community center first. It made me feel less alone to find a community of people I related to, and made me feel more comfortable with going to therapy in the future if I ever have problems again. There are so many ways that people can take care of themselves. Most people have their own struggles at some point. You might experience physical or emotional changes or changes in your routine. You know yourself best, so pay attention when you're feeling off or different. It's okay not to be okay right now. We encourage you to talk about your feelings, even if you're facing more stress than normal and want to vent. You can learn ways to cope. You can find out how to take better care of yourself, and you can feel better both mentally and physically. Everyone needs a little support sometimes. You can choose what's most comfortable for you in your situation. Talking has a way of making people feel better, of giving us a sense of relief. And if there's something a little more serious going on, there are things you can do to feel better. Just don't try to do it alone because you're not alone. Reach out, it's worth a try. I've had my own.
It's worth a try. I'm not sure if that video played. I'm gonna try that again. Okay, it did play. So, want to go over some terms with you. So, mental health. Let me take that out. So, mental health itself is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well and work well, and contribute to the community. This is from the World Health Organization.int. So it's a state of well-being. It helps people to cope with stress. Everyone has stress. You cannot avoid stress in life. It's just a demand, it's a challenge that's placed on you physically or mentally. And but you have to realize what you're able to do. You have to learn, be able to learn well, be able to work well, all that, and be some contribution to your community. So that's what we would de- define as mental health. Okay. So on the opposite is mental illness, a clinically significant disturbance in the individual's cognition, their emotions, regulation, or behavior, typically associated with distress or impairment in important areas of function. That's what happens. Things start to break down in your normal functions. Usually, people start to lose sleep, appetite, their ability to be in a good mood, to be able to work, be able to go to school, be able to relate with others. All these things can start to break down when you see a mental illness. And sometimes it's just real subtle, sometimes it's just a little degree, but over time, it can take its toll if you don't address it. So here's some ways to kind of get on track. One of the things is connection. Cultivating meaningful relationships and feeling connected to others is crucial for mental health, folks. You cannot be alone. You can't. No man is an island, right? No man's an island. You have to connect with people, be able to have meaningful relationships, relationships that are important, that have value, uh, is a one of the C's of mental wellness. Another one is compassion. Practicing self compassion and extending compassion to others can help reduce your stress and improve emotional well being, folks. Being able to reach out and have some care for someone else, extending your compassion to others, right? Not having all the focus just on you, can help reduce your stress and improve your emotional well being. These are some of the C's to mental wellness. Another C is coping. Developing healthy coping mechanisms for stress and difficult emotions is essential for managing mental health. I want to say that again. Developing healthy coping mechanisms for stress. Healthy coping mechanisms might be exercising, might be taking a walk, maybe reading a book, watching a movie, it may be calling up a friend. Those are healthy mechanisms. Unhealthy ones might be taking a drink, using some marijuana, um, gambling, doing risky things, that overeating, eating things that are not very nutritious can be unhealthy ways to manage your stress. Okay. And so we want to find healthy ways to manage stress because we don't want to add more stress to our life as a result of the way in which we cope with stress. Another one is community. Engaging with one's community and participating in social activities can provide a sense of belonging and support. Can you see that? Getting involved in the community. That's what we do here at Alcohol, Drugs, and Us. We participate in the community. We give back to the community information, things that can help change people's lives. I don't know when people will watch this video. Some of them watch it live and interact, but some of them watch it later, folks. They watch it later and in the privacy of their home or in their car. But one must engage with the community and participate in social activities. You know, that might be church, that might be a volunteer group. Uh, those places give you a sense of belonging. It make you feel like you count. You know, you're a part of the team. You know, you matter, and everyone should have that. Everyone should have some type of community participation, some kind of social activity that they're involved in that's healthy. And then another C is prioritizing self care and seeking help when needed can be vital for maintaining good mental health. You got to know what's your limit. You know, you have to know that, hey, you know what, I'm taking on too much. You have to know how to take care of self. Before you can help anyone else, you got to first be able to help yourself. You got to first be able to know the warning sign, know when you're exhausted, know when you're fatigued, know when you're tired, and get your rest. You know when you're taking on too much at the job. Take a day off, take a half a day off. Know when the relationship is becoming straining. You know, finding some ways maybe to step away or find something, productive to do. Go to a movie, go out and smell the roses, all those kind of things that are taking care of yourself, taking care of yourself. You only get one self. And so taking care of it, prioritizing it, and making it very important. Sometimes people are inundated with helping other people. You ever find some folks like that? They're out there, trying to do all this for other people, and they're not taking care of themselves. And so you do have to have a balance. You have to be able to and be happy. You have to be able to be productive, and you have to also be able to feel good within yourself. You have to feel content within yourself. Is a good sign of mental wellness. And so this is May. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I'm just saying May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I just want to share. I just want to share with you about mental health, about being aware of your mental health. Because like this picture I showed earlier, uh, if I can get back to it, there we go. So if you were to see that on your body, you would clearly know that something is wrong, right? But sometimes it's not very apparent, right? Sometimes people smile and they're really not happy on the inside. But if you saw a swollen foot like this, like clearly you would know, like, hey, something is not right. Everyone around you would know something is not right. But sometimes I'm talking to the people who have the appearance like everything is looking okay, but they're not feeling good. They're really sad. They're not enjoying their life. And so sometimes that might mean to reach out. It might mean to call your doctor. That might mean to call a number such as 988, which is mental health services throughout the country. You say, well, I don't have insurance. Doesn't matter. We want to help. We don't want to see, things go really south for you. So that's a resource there. There's tons of them. Just by calling this simple number there can connect you with some services in your city, wherever you might watch this video. So I just stopped by here this evening just to talk about mental health, just to talk about awareness, just to talk about taking care of ourselves, right? Taking care of ourselves both physically as well as mentally. And because this is Mental Health Awareness Month, I'm really talking about taking care of ourselves mentally, right? Our mental uh, evaluation, getting a mental evaluation, getting sitting down and talking and or doing an assessment of where are you mentally? Where are you mentally? Are you stressed? Are you overwhelmed? Do you have the right coping skills? Are you dealing with life on life terms? Are you self medicating? Are you drinking and using drugs to kind of cope with the daily issues of life? If that's you, I would say turn it around, go in another direction. It's not a good way to cope with life. Drinking, smoking marijuana, using drugs, gambling, cursing, fighting, all that kind of stuff. Those are not real good coping skills. And so there's a better way that we can cope with life. And sometimes you may have to learn it. You may have to go somewhere and learn the skills. You say, I don't really have the skills, Joe. That's okay, because if you really want to get it better, you can seek out help. You can take the number I gave you. You can call mental health services in the city, wherever. You can just get to your doctor, right? Your medical doctor is skilled enough to know what's going on. Are you sleeping at night? Number one reason people seek mental health care, folks, believe it or not, is poor sleep. Poor sleep will get you to the mental health doctor, will get you to your primary care doctor, because when you don't sleep well, you're very fatigued, you're very stressed, you're very irritable, and you don't like that feeling. And so it is the number one reason that gets people into seeking out mental health care. And so I want to tell you that help is out there. Don't allow yourself to just keep having a situation get worse, but do seek out help. Do seek out professional help. Don't look to a friend to be your leaning post, the one that can help you, through your issues. Sometimes you may need to get a professional who has done the work and knows how to get you out of the rut that you might be in, or just give you some better ways to deal with life, just to deal with life. And so, alcohol, drugs, and us sort of swayed from talking about alcohol and drugs and decided to appreciate that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and that's what we wanted to do. And so came along here and wanted to share. And I hope you who will watch this video or have watched some of the video will get some nuggets out of it. We'll get some things that you can apply to your life and see yourself go in a better direction. And so I just wanna thank those who did view, who did stop by the studio and checked out some of this. I do want to say I appreciate you for your viewership, and I do know that this video will get in the hands of a whole lot of people who need to know what is mental wellness, what is mental illness, what are ways to cope, what are the 5 C's, all of these um, nuggets that have been around for quite a while that just need to be utilized, just need to be utilized. And so, if there's a comment or question out there, I see a viewer on there. If you want to chime in, let me know. I'll go to a quick commercial real quick. I'm back. So, always got to throw a little commercial in there just for the camera's sake. All right. So, we've been talking about May's Mental Health Awareness Month. We'll do another show in about 2 more weeks. We'll do another show about mental health, uh, and just continue in the vein of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Try to help somebody. Father, I just want to thank you, God, for this opportunity to share, to be able to impart information. God, I pray that it will get to where it's needed the most, that somebody's life will be changed. Some mother, some brother, some father, some business executive, some minister, oh God. will begin to take a look at their mental health, will begin to look at the man in the mirror, like Michael Jackson said, and see how they can make a change, God, for the better, for the better. And I just pray this in Jesus' name. Just believe, God, that you'll do it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this. Have a good one.